What you wanna know?
What's going on, people? Myke C-Town here. Welcome to another edition of What Do You Want to Know, where you ask your questions. If I like your questions, I answer your questions on camera. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done one of these. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. I was kind of busy for a while, but yeah, I mentioned before I've been dealing with a flea infestation, which is a fucking pain in the fucking ass. Right now, it is absolutely freezing in my apartment. I set off 3 bombs. I sprayed everything probably fucking 10 times. I've washed every goddamn thing in this house. I can't tell you how many times. And it seems like every time I would come home, if I walked through here barefoot, I would just look down and there'd be a whole bunch of fucking fleas just all over my feet, just chilling. Goddamn fleas got in my goddamn bed. I'd sleep for an hour, wake up to those motherfuckers biting all up on my thigh. The fuck kind of shit is that, man? Old fetish ass fleas all up on my fucking inner thigh. Don't even know you like that. But anyways, the reason it's freezing in here, I read online that if you can get your home to be, I think it's below 70 degrees, that will typically kill them. So it's fucking like 64 degrees in my house right now. My fucking nose and my dick are fucking popsicles. I know that sounds weird, and I don't care. I'm too cold to care. Let's just start this shit, alright? Fucking look at me like that. First question. This is a question from Twitter. @RichardOwens89 said, "What are the top things you hate people say when talking about music?" To be honest, I don't really talk with that many people about music, simply because I'm always afraid that someone's gonna say something stupid and piss me off. But here's a list of a couple of the things that people say that just irk the fuck out of me. You don't like this? Oh, that just means that you don't get it. It should be common fucking sense that this is just plain stupid. Just because you don't like the way a band sounds doesn't mean that you don't get what they're going for. And just because you understand their motivation doesn't mean that you'll automatically appreciate the execution. Or how about this one? You don't like so-and-so? Well, listen to this album. Dude, if I say I don't like an artist, that doesn't mean that I'll only listen to a few songs. I'll usually give a large amount of a band or an artist's music a chance before I completely dismiss them. And even if I don't, and they just have that one good album, that doesn't change my mind about the fact that they're a shit band. If you have a 1-to-7 ratio of good records, you're a shit band. That's that fucking simple. You don't like so-and-so? Oh, you're not listening to it right. No explanation needed, you're just a dickhead. Nah, it's not really indie rock. It's proto-meta alt-country stupendo punk. Or it's basement-centric proto-satanic elliptical black metal. Man, shut the fuck up, man. It still sucks. Look at how they're dressed. There's just no way that can be good. What the fuck does your clothing have to do with your music? Like, how does the way you dress impact the way you write a song? That makes no sense. Unless you're dressing like Jax Teller, which means you look like a juggalo. And if you look like a juggalo, it kind of means that you probably are a juggalo. And if you are a juggalo, then odds are your music is automatically shit. And I'm not the first person to point out that Jax Teller is clearly a juggalo, right? I was into them way before insert whatever music publication here got a hold of them, and now they're just not that good. What kind of sense does that shit make, man? If a band went to shit, that's one thing, but why would a band get shitty just because a publication picked them up and started talking about them? That makes no fucking sense. Why would a band start sucking just because they got more coverage? There's no logic there whatsoever. I don't like them. Their fans are just really annoying. Now, while I get that an artist's fans can be truly annoying, Currency, Odd Future, Death Heaven, Metallica, Marilyn Manson, Korn, Skrillex, I could go on. If you let the fans of a group determine how much you enjoy that group's music, then you're just a turd. With Korn and frayed edges, the kind of turd that you have to wipe like 6 or 7 times to make sure that you can walk out of the bathroom without an hour later feeling like there was something tickling the inside of your ass. You're that kind of turd. That's not real hip-hop. That's not real indie rock. That's not real country. That's not real black metal. That's not real what the fuck ever. Yeah, no one made you the gatekeeper of any musical genre, you bearded fuck. Because yeah, the only people that say shit like that are people with beards. This is the best album to come out in the past 10 years. I hear this comment, especially when you're in a group of like a bunch of fucking dumbass wannabe music snobs, and one of them throws out some album that's relatively obscure and it's like, oh no, this is the best album in the past decade. No, then there's some other asshole in the other fucking corner that's like, no, wait. So he has to go like deeper and more obscure with his fucking choice that it's some fucking dumb band that like only 7 people in the world have ever fucking heard of. Yeah, you guys don't sound cool. You sound like assholes. Like, when are people gonna get this idea out of their head that you don't sound cool just because you've heard of a band that other people haven't heard of? Either that band sucks, you're talking to the wrong people, or you're just full of shit. It's one of those 3 things. And any of those 3 things are, and maybe even all those 3 things, but at the end of the day, who gives a shit, man? If you like music so much, and you like this band so much, tell other people about them so they'll have more than fucking 6 fans. And if you can't do that, then odds are it's the first choice. The band sucks. And you suck. Or it's one of those situations where people say that because they feel like they're supposed to, because it's like a popular album, and they feel like if they don't say that, then that means that they're not going to sound cool. Like when you say things like, you know, Slayer's God Hates Us All is the best album in the past 10 years, when that's like really the exact opposite of reality. It's one of the worst records in the fucking world. It could only get worse if like Everlast from House of Pain was on like 3 of the tracks, rapping. Or no, not even rapping, playing like that weird Whitey Ford shit that he was doing. God hates us all. God hurts us all. Maybe you'll then know what it's like to have to choose between a good Slayer album and a bad one, like God Hates Us All. Well, if you like this album, then that means you must like this album because this album influenced the entire genre. Dumbest fucking logic on the planet, man. An artist can influence an entire genre in any number of ways. It could be aesthetics, it could be sound, it could be lyrics. That in no way automatically means that you must like the way that band sounds. Just because you like Sleep doesn't mean that you're automatically gonna like Cream or Black Sabbath or Deep Purple. That doesn't make any sense. Just because you like Eminem, that doesn't mean you're gonna like Pharoah Monch. Just because you like Toby Keith, which I hope you don't like Toby Keith, but if you do like Toby Keith, just because you like Toby Keith doesn't mean you're gonna like Waylon Jennings. That lane of thinking is just totally idiotic to me, and it's another one of those things that I absolutely hate. You know what? It's just the same as when people say, that's a classic. That means that you're supposed to like the album. Just because it's a fucking classic album doesn't mean I have to enjoy it. What? You don't like Jay-Z's Blueprint? What? You don't like Korn's first album? It influenced the entire genre. What? You don't like Offspring's first album? Oh my god, it influenced pop punk so much. It's a classic. Just because it's a classic doesn't mean that I have to like it. Just because it influenced other albums that I do like doesn't mean that I have to like the original. That makes no sense. That's like saying that I have to find your ugly ass mama hot just because she gave birth to your sexy ass. That makes no sense. I can go all day with these, so I'm just going to stop right there and say these are the ones that probably annoy me the most. So if you're going to talk about music, then just talk about the music. You know, music discussion should not be a time to sound cooler than somebody else. It should be about spreading music. And that's really it, man. Alright, that's it, dude. Stop being a dick. Let's move on. Next question. Ad Leon Back said, "Hey Mike, I dig your channel. What would you recommend for a turntable setup? I think I have some nice equipment picked out, but I'm not too sure what receiver to get." I thought I'd already answered this, but I looked back at my videos and I didn't see a video on this, so maybe I didn't. If I didn't, I meant to. If I did already answer it and you've already seen it, then just turn this video off. I had an old Technics record player that I had from back when I was a kid. It was my dad's, and it conked out. Then I had a backup record player that was an old Sony record player that sounded pretty good, worked really well. That was also from back in the day when I was a kid. That conked out. The only thing I had as a backup was this deck record player that was a USB record player, and it sounds fine. It's okay, but it's not something I would recommend using as your like main player, because you can't really switch out the needle, and the needle's not a good needle, so it might fuck up your records if you listen to them too much on that thing. So I saved up and forked out the money for the this nice Audio Technica. It's the Audio Technica LP120, which is like the mid-level one, but it's great. It's a great record player, man. It has direct drive, adjustable anti-skate, adjustable counterweights, and it just sounds fantastic, dude. And as far as a receiver, my receiver conked out around the same time my record player did. So my boy Henry, he hooked me up with this Sherwood RX 4105, and it actually sounds really good. So it's nothing fancy, nothing super special. I don't even know how much money these things run, but it's a good receiver. You know, make sure when you're purchasing receivers and turntables, you make sure that there's a preamp involved with the turntable, or that there's a phono option involved with the receiver. Otherwise, you're gonna have to buy extra equipment, which is just a pain in the ass. But yeah, that's my setup, man. It's nothing really special. I do think that you should have decent equipment to listen to your records on if you're gonna bother collecting records, because there's no point in buying records if you're just gonna listen to them on some old shitty ass fucking jam box. And if I hear that you're buying one of those fucking stupid ass portable Crosleys, or I forget what the other ones are called, those other ones that are in a fucking box that looks like some stupid fucking dumb hipster bullshit that some asshole would take to the fucking park to bring his fucking Rolling Stones records to play on while he's playing acoustic guitar in the background. If you buy one of those things, fucking goddamn it, unsub for me, or I'm gonna come to your house and beat your fucking ass and tear your mustache off. Alright? Violent like that, bruh. Anyway, yeah, good luck with your searching. I gotta say again, I highly recommend the Audio Technica. I think it's one of the better record players on the market for that price. If you don't want to go over $300, I think this is the way to go. Otherwise, you're gonna have to fork out some serious change for a decent turntable that's gonna sound good, that's gonna last a long time, that's sturdy, and that's not gonna fuck up your records. So that's it for this edition of What Do You Want to Know? If you want to send me some questions, do that, duh. You can put them in the discussion board on my YouTube channel. You can hashtag them to me on Twitter with WDYWK. You can send them to me, what was the other one? Oh, you can submit them through my Tumblr. Yeah, you can do all those things. Okay? Yeah, it's cold. I'm gonna get back in the other room and snuggle up on the couch with a blanket and watch SVU. Alright? You know how we do in these motherfucking streets. Thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you. And I'll see you guys next time. Alright? Peace, bitches.